Awesome. Already questions. Cool.
I'm going to start with Millie.
Millie, that's such a nice name. Hi, Millie.
Millie, I'm going to give you the mic control. If you can talk, then we'd be able to hear you.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm early today. I'm always late, so.
Oh, you are?
I actually sent my question to the chat. I was just going to try to find where I wrote the question. It's a pretty long question.
Here, Millie, I can hear.
Yeah, I can speak a little bit about it. So I have Westy. His name is Charlie. He's 12 now. I adopted him at 8 years old. We believe that he came from a mill. When he came, he was okay. He had brown feet and everything, like skin issues as normally we've seen in Westies. And then he had like tummy issues, like once in a while he would not want to eat, but I have given him like 1/2 Pepcid AC and it helped. But recently, it's been 4 years now. Recently, actually it started in November 2019 when he started having like scabs all over his body. Yeah. So been going to the vet and he was given different medications. And then I at one point I'm like, stop the medication because I don't want to, I've been reading a lot and I don't want to keep giving him medication because of his age and his kind of background too. So I've been really researching and then I've chanced upon, Adored Beast and reading a lot of good things about it. So I tried the Yeasty Beast protocol. Okay. And it helped for a while until the liver tonic finished. So there's 4, right? And then when the liver tonic finished, I felt like it kind of stopped working. And then I kind of emailed for support, right? And I was told that, maybe we should try leaky gut. So I got the leaky gut and then got him on the leaky gut protocol. This was just last year, late last year, November, I started him on the leaky gut. So it was okay for a couple of weeks, but then it started, so he had this big scab on his back and then it started getting less angry and, less red and stuff. So it was working, but then it started, he started getting it in a little bit of other places. So I also emailed and I was asked to stop the powders for a couple of weeks, I think, which I did also. It helped, but I did restart the powder again.
On the leaky gut or the yeasty?
Yeah, on the leaky gut. Gut.
Yeah.
So but now I see it like more coming out. The back is good. It's like the fur is coming back, it's healing well. But I see it come like different scabs coming in his neck, in his armpit. This has come before and it has healed before, and then it seems like it's coming back kind of thing. So I stopped the powder again, like just I think a week ago. So I was wondering what else can I do? Is it just like this cycle of like,
go back to the Yeasty Beast?
Go back to the Yeasty Beast?
Did you, when you stopped the Yeasty Beast and you went to leaky gut, did you go back to Yeasty Beast again?
No, I didn't.
You didn't. And this has been ongoing for a year?
Yeah, it's probably a year now from between Yeasty Beast and leaky gut, and yeah, no.
Okay. And what is he eating?
He's eating raw. I've been feeding, since I got him, I've been feeding him raw. Initially, he was on salmon, lamb, and turkey. But about a year, when he started having these issues, I stopped that and put him on rabbit. He's on pure rabbit now. Yeah, so he's on pure rabbit now. So even for his treats, I only gave him rabbit. And the only other thing that I gave him for treats is cucumber. He loves cucumber, so I gave him cucumber.
And has he been on rabbit solely for a long time now?
Yeah. So rabbit, he's been he's been rabid for probably more than 6 months now, like 9 months probably. Yeah.
That's a long time to be on one protein. So what
Should
about,
I change? Yeah.
well, you should, but you shouldn't until I tell you, like,
Yeah.
I'm going to recommend something with the product, and you shouldn't do that plus change his diet, because if you do that and he flares up or he gets better, we're not going to know, is it the product or is it the food or what's going on. So one thing that you said, do you know what drugs he was on?
He did had Apoquel for a while, but it's not a long period of time, because it's like one dosage that they gave, because after it didn't help, I actually didn't go back to that vet anymore. I went and found another vet.
And
until
then
yeah.
he was on Apoquel. Was he on antibiotics prior to that, or any kind of like ketoconazole or any kind of?
He was on antibiotic, but not for this. I think because he was, at one point in time, he has like a pus coming out from under his eyes. So that's what the vet gave us, like a dose of antibiotic at the time.
Okay, and what about his vaccines? What about his like any other drugs at all, like prednisone or Venectocin?
No,
like
he was not on prednisone. His last vaccination is 2017.
Okay.
When I first got him, I kind of didn't really know better, and then I had him one shot, and then I started reading, and I said no, I was gonna stop the thing for a while. Yeah.
All right. So what I would do is when you're rotating back and forth with leaky gut and like and yeasty beast, you want to go back onto the yeasty beast. So you don't want to just stay on leaky gut. You want to go back onto the yeasty beast. But you said one thing that really tweaked my interest, which was when you stopped the liver tonic, you saw a difference.
Yeah.
And if you had started a leaky gut, you would have started liver tonic again.
Yes.
Liver tonic as well. So
yeah.
I would be always making sure that he's on liver tonic like 24/7, like every single, not 24/7, but every single day.
Every day. Yeah.
Every day he should be on liver tonic. And what I would be doing is I would be doing sort of like 2 weeks on yeasty beast, 2 weeks on leaky gut. And then what I would do for him is I would then incorporate Phytosflora. So I call it, it's sort of like not an emergency protocol, but Stephanie, what do I call that? I don't even know. I have a sort of a name for
it. The relief protocol.
Relief protocol, where we're sort of addressing, we're targeting in on the yeast, then we're targeting in on the leaky gut, then we're targeting in on really planting some diverse microbiota. And then we're going back to the leaky gut. Back to the yeasty beast, then the leaky gut, then the Phytosflora. And what you're doing by that is you're not killing the yeast too quickly. You're supporting the gut and keeping the immune system balanced, but not revved up too high. And then by giving Phytosflora, you're giving an immune modulator, and you're also giving the higher diversity of the probiotics with the canine strain. So that's what I would do, because I like those little guys are notorious for skin issues. And I would say a lot of it is with Westies. A lot of it, it's all autoimmune, but I think that with Westies in particular, their autoimmune, their reactive sense is more in a place of environmental. So you want to be sure that you're trying to maintain his immune system to be modulated. So not to go too high and not to go too low. And that's what the Phytosflora does. So I would just literally keep rotating through that, but making sure that you stay on
liver tonic.
On the liver tonic. And one more thing, and just remember, from a cost issue, this isn't the way I'm telling you to do it. It's not more expensive. because you're not giving all of those products at one time. So if you were to add phytosynergy into that, then what you're doing is you're actually increasing the mineral content and increasing the superoxide dismutase. So, and every time you change something, every time you rotate like that, you're focusing in on a particular system of the body. So you're not just focusing, it's always going to be helpful for the gut, but you're focusing in literally on different systems from cellular to detoxification, to the mucosal lining of the gut, to then the microbiota. Like you're targeting different things. So instead of just taking it like a skyrocket, we're looking at it we're looking at the disease process at a much higher level, right? So when, and then you also cause less reaction, meaning if you're too targeted, sometimes the body will rebound because it's depressed, and then it tries to like almost overcompensate, and then you can get a little bit of a disbalance. So when you're kind of just rotating, and like I said, it's not going to cost you anymore because it's not like you're using all of them. But that's what I would do. I would go back on the Yeasty Beast. Then I would go to Phytosflora for two. These are all 2 weeks.
2 weeks also. Okay.
2 weeks intermittent. Okay. So Yeasty Beast 2 weeks. Phytosflora 2 weeks. Phytosynergy 2 weeks, and he got 2 weeks. So it's like literally 2, 4, 6, 8, 2 months. It's like a 2-month rotation.
Okay,
that's what I would.
Okay, so Yeasty Beast, Leaky Gut, Phytosflora, and Phytosynergy.
You're on Leaky Gut right now, right?
Yes.
Okay, no. So go back to Yeasty Beast. Then go into Phytosflora for 2 weeks. Then go into Phytosynergy for 2 weeks. Then go into Leaky Gut for 2 weeks. Then go back onto Yeasty Beast for 2 weeks.
All the while still having liver tonic, right?
Always, yeah. I would keep him for now on liver tonic the whole time.
Okay. Yeah, I hope it helps him. Poor guy, sometimes he scratch. But what helped him a lot after I started, one thing I forgot to mention is before I started at Word Beast, he was having very bad ear infection. Like almost every, I don't know how often I had him flushed his ears. And then it got very bad. But once he got starting on the protocol, that cleared out pretty fast, the ear.
Good.
Yeah.
That's a really good sign. So you just need to tweak it a little bit, but I'm pretty confident he's going to be okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I'll keep you updated. I'll join next time again.
Okay.
Thanks, Millie.
You, Julie.
Welcome.
Okay. Next is Pauline. Pauline, are you here and you willing to take the mic? Let you ask your question here. You should have the ability now.
Yes. Hi. Can you hear me?
Yep.
I can.
Hey, Julie. Thanks so much for taking my question.
No worries. How are you?
I'm a longtime fan.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And so I am getting a new 8-week-old Doberman puppy in a couple weeks, and I want to start him out right.
Okay, good.
So I've spoken with the breeder, and he's agreed not to give him any vaccines.
Awesome.
And I want to follow Dr. Will Faulkner's protocol on creating a natural immunity using parvo and distemper nosodes.
Yeah.
But I am concerned about, his immunity. And I'm wondering what you recommend as far as supplements to keep his immune system strong and healthy at such a young age.
Definitely Phytosflora and Phytosynergy.
Okay, both at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the Phytosflora, because it's the only one that has a canine strain, like even out there on the market, it's more targeted towards bacterias that help to produce the correct biome, like viral biome, right? So, so it's really and it is so GI oriented. So the bigger one is parvo, that probably that you have to worry about right now. I'm not saying that distemper's not bad, but it's a lot less prevalent, right?
Right.
Is, and it's really good for their immune system. It's very helpful for the mucosal line, keeping the mucosal lining of the gut healthy. But the biggest and most important thing in that, especially for puppies, is that depending on the bitch, if she didn't have a really diverse, incredibly strong, or if she was over vaccinated, or she'd been eating dry dog food or whatever, chances are her microbiota is not going to be as healthy and strong as we would like it to be.
Right.
And that gets passed to the puppy, right? So the puppy's native bacteria, you want that to be really strong. So by planting the bacteria that we use that comes from the microbiota of a dog, from dog feces, it is specifically targeting canine, the canine microbiome. So, but then it has the diverse effect of having the other 16 strains or 14 strains with 16 altogether. So that's what I would do. I would be doing the Phytosflora for that, and I would be doing Phytosynergy because of the amino acids really helps to navigate the immune system, but also superoxide dismutase. There's like more superoxide dismutase in it than you could buy in anything else. So that's an antioxidant, which really keeps the immune system strong. So that would be the two things, and a really good diet, obviously.
Yeah, I'm going to put them on Answers.
Oh, awesome. Perfect. And then, just be you just use your common sense, right? So if you take them to a dog park, like I'm sure Will has lots of, he probably has lots of tips for that protocol too, right?
He does 5 minutes once a week when they hit 12 weeks old, 3 times, and then tighter.
Yeah. Okay. 5, going outside 5 minutes, not what?
Yeah, so you bring them to a highly trafficked dog area, like a dog park. You let them out for 5 minutes only.
Yeah.
And then just once a week for 3 weeks.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. That's a good one. And I think that, do you have any friends that have really healthy dogs? Like adult dogs?
Not really.
Okay. That's okay. If you know any dogs that are like raw fed that are adults that would have their adequate adult antibodies, I always like to take a cotton towel and rub them, let them
Well,
lie.
I have an adult Doberman, but he's a rescue.
Okay.
He's been fed raw since I've had him.
Okay.
No vaccines except for rabies by law. No toxins, no heartworm, no flea tick, nothing.
Well, they're gonna cross
okay
for sure, which is good, really good.
Okay, but I wouldn't call him healthy. He came to me with issues. I did your leaky gut protocol as soon as I got him, and that fixed a ton of stuff. Your gut soothe I do with him on a regular basis because he has digestive issues, and that really helps.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I would consider him quote unquote healthy. I think he's healthier than most, but he does have some health issues.
But he would have a microbiome with the memory cells of all his virome, right? So,
okay.
So his innate adult antibodies, viral antibodies, right? And the healthy microbiome has that energetic communicative response. So, you know, making sure that they're together, like a puppy growing up with adult dogs are much more they're in a much better place than not, for sure.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. I love your products, and I love all the free information you give. It's really helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, next question's from Jim. He doesn't have a mic. It's
Okay.
actually from Jim and Carol in Vermont.
Okay.
Their 21-year-old Papillon with heart disease is on 2 remedies, Rustox 200C and Agaricus 30C.
Yeah.
And Squilla LM 6 Plus, Crataegus 2X.
They just, yeah.
Yeah. Our question is, how many times a day can we give him this? We are currently giving it to him twice a day. He seems to whine more in the evening, and we are concerned about him. He's also on your Phytosynergy and Phytosflora.
And what kind of heart did they say? What kind of heart disease?
No. Jim, if you can go real quick in the chat, that'd be great.
And he whines at night?
Yeah.
Is he restless at night?
Jim, how quick are you on the keyboard?
And are they in the U.S.? Oh no, do we have our go-to in the U.S. now?
Mitral valve.
Mitral-valvular. Okay. Do they are they in the U? Do we ever go to in the U.S. now?
Your go-to is available for pre-order, and it'll be launching on the 18th. It'll be shipping on the 18th.
Shipping on the 18th. Are they U.S. or Canadian?
Vermont, U.S.
Vermont. Okay. I would recommend that.
Mm-hmm.
I would recommend trying one single dose of that. Depending on when he starts to get restless at night, if he starts whining and getting restless at night, I would give him, like, let's say it starts maybe around, I don't know, 7 o'clock or something. I would give him a dose of it at 6 or 6:30. And if he starts a little earlier, go ahead and give it to him right as soon as he starts. Your go-to is it's such a cool remedy. It helps so many. It's just very supportive of many diseases, whether people are on drugs, whether the animals are on drugs or not on drugs. And one of the remedies both of the remedies in there are fabulous for heart stuff, especially if the person or the animal is experiencing any kind of inability to breathe or anxiousness because of anything. I'll just tell you a fast story about go-to. I lost my mom at Easter, and she's 93, and she wasn't on any drugs, and she had renal issues and mitral and a mitral valve insufficiency, and she had go-to beside her bed, and she would just take it as she needed it. And sometimes, my gosh, sometimes if she was really anemic too, but she was so smart. She would just take it whenever she felt like she really needed it. If she was having a hard time breathing or she was feeling really weak, she just took it whenever she felt like she needed it. And it helped her so much that her palliative care doctors couldn't believe that she didn't need one single drug. We had a crash kit there for her at home in case she needed something, and all she ever used was that go-to, like, till she died. And she had the most incredible, I miss her more than I can even imagine. She was like my entire world. But how her passing was so peaceful and so it was just incredible, and that's all she ever used was that remedy. So I would try that with your dog, and just one single dose just to see. And then what you can do is sort of like my mom, where you know, you're not going to be able to feel how your dog is feeling, but you should definitely be able to pick up on its anxiety and watch its breathing. If it's more labored breathing, you can, you know, maybe try giving it a dose and see if his breathing becomes easier over the course of a couple of hours. And then you can give it to him as needed, so long as it's making some improvement. If he's, you know, settling down and really resting well, or, you know, you'll be able to assess yourself whether or not it's helping. So that's what I would do. That's what I would incorporate, because arnica is incredible for any kind of heart disease, and aconite as well. But arnica is amazing, and especially for pain, any kind of pain.
Awesome, Julie. Jim added there that the dog's the first one to get up. He loves his goat milk, and he's the first one to get up for eggs in the morning.
Aww.
Thanks, Jim. Okay, Steph, where are you?
Jim, if you're still listening, let us know. Send an email to either Kaylin or someone at Adored Beasts, and let us know how your puppy responded.
Please do. I had a good experience with it over the weekend, but I'm gonna let Steph speak here. There you go, Steph. It's all yours.
Hi, Julie. Can you hear me?
I can. Hi.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too.
So I'm calling for my sister-in-law. She has a 9-month-old Coutan de Toulier who has tear stains. Anything that you can recommend?
Well, you know, it can be for all kinds of reasons, right? Like it could be a reaction to food. It could be the beginning stages of increased systemic inflammatory response. It can be that their pH is not balanced. There's a million different things that it could be. But you know what I'm always like is I would not address the eyes. I would be addressing the foundation of health, which to me is their gut health. And I would definitely be doing probably Phytosflora and Phytosynergy to start. Those would be the two things. I don't know what your sister's dog is eating, but if it's not on a raw food diet, I would be definitely recommending a raw food diet, and see if you can get its gut microbiome to be healthier and its gut lining to be healthier, because you want that to go away as the dog is internally and becoming healthier overall, rather than just focusing on his eyes.
I'm muted. I just muted you there for a sec, Steph. You should be okay to talk now.
I can still see it's muted, Steph.
Sorry. So she is like on a freeze-dried raw diet. Okay. It has had rabies shots. So that's obviously.
Well, you could definitely try I would definitely do the Phytosflora and the Phytosynergy. And if she's wrong, there's two other things she can do, which is how old is it? How old is the dog?
9 months.
9 months. So the anti-vaccinosis, there's absolutely no reason why she couldn't start with anti-vaccinosis as well. Because if it's vaccine related, you should see a difference with that. And you might have to use it twice a day for 2 days, like we say, and then a month later, do it twice a day for 2 days again, like repeat it a month later. And then add the phytosynergy and the phytos flora to be sure that she's just getting, some real food, really strong food enzymes, right? Like really whole food enzymes. And then making sure that her gut health is good. I would do that first before I would use any kind of anything topical like that.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, well, thank you very much. I'll pass that information on to her and make sure she gets that ordered.
Okay.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We'll see you next month.
Okay.
Thanks, Steph. All right, Cindy. Let's see if I can find you here. Oh, there you are. Got it. Cindy, if you want the mic, it's all yours. Otherwise, I don't mind asking your question.
She's muted.
Why does that keep going on?
Hello?
Hey.
Hi.
Okay, hi. First of all, I just want to say I think you're absolutely phenomenal. And I love listening to you every month. I've been actually in contact with your office a couple of times about my dog. She has Cushing's.
Okay.
She went undiagnosed a couple of times. They kept saying she didn't, and I kept pushing it because I thought she did. And it finally came back that she did.
Okay.
I have her on the Phytosynergy. I have her on the Phytoflora, the Liver Tonic.
Yep.
And the Gut Soothe. And she no longer pants, which was a big thing. Yeah, that was amazing. Her appetite is still crazy.
Okay.
She still drinks a lot of water, but I'm not as concerned about that because I'd rather her drink it than not.
Yeah.
My thing is there any way to know if it's controlled or so that she doesn't get worse? She also has a history of spinal meningitis from the past.
Okay.
But she's come through that with flying colors. That was about 4 years ago, and she's doing great.
Is she taking the drug or is she not on any drugs?
She was, and she got diarrhea. I stopped it. I started it again. She got diarrhea for a week again, and now that's it.
Okay.
No more.
So do me a favor. I know she's not really taking any more clients right now. She's so booked up, but a really, really incredible colleague of mine, her name is Andrea Ring. Just if Stephanie puts her contact, just contact her, tell her that she's on, some of our products and she's doing really well, but that if she could just send you, like do a very short consult with you, like just a little tiny one, and do a Cushing's protocol, send you the Cushing's protocol.
Okay, because they told me that you were making one, a Cushing's protocol, that you were working on one.
We are working on one. Like we're trying, but everything that we're doing has to go through Health Canada or the FDA. And so it's taking a little bit longer because it's an actual, we're not really supposed to be doing anything that really addresses a specific problem. So we're running into a couple glitches. But it's a homeopathic protocol. Good. And I can honestly tell you, I saw hundreds of Cushing's cases, and the only one that I was not able to get a hold of was a really, really, really rare one. And it wasn't your typical Cushing's. It was an atypical Cushing's, but it was even more rare than that. I can't even remember now. It was like 15 years ago. And I think it came from, I want to say it came from the muscle, but I can't remember. So I never had and other than that dog, I never had an animal that we couldn't control incredibly well with this
Oh,
program.
wow. Oh,
Like,
good. I'm definitely going
like,
to.
like asymptomatic, like they would all be, and I use the same protocol on all my, like I've had 3 rescue horses that have Cushing's.
Oh, wow.
And they're all completely asymptomatic, because when they get Cushing's and then they get other really debilitating pathology with it, like laminitis, and then they're so sore they can't even walk, and it's terrible. And all of the ones I have now that are on this protocol, you wouldn't even know that they were sick. Like,
I'm excited.
Yeah,
because she's a Maltese, and I hear it's a lot common in Maltese. I don't know why.
Well, it's just a susceptibility, but really try to get a hold of Andrea, and you're going to be really surprised. And just make sure that you say, you know, I'm not expecting to have a full consult with you, because I know that she's not taking any new clients, but would she be able to have a super short one and just send you the protocol? Yeah.
Okay. Now, just I know you can't really give me an answer, but what is the life expectancy of a dog with Cushing's? She's 9.
She's 9. You know what? I can honestly say that every dog that I worked with that had Cushing's lived pretty close to a normal life expectancy.
Really? Oh, yeah. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Because that's my biggest fear. Yeah. Because she's on raw and all that, and
that's
no
important.
Vaccines.
That's really, really important. It's super important.
And she's a rescue too, like the other lady. So you don't know what their history was, but since I got her, she's always been well taken care of.
Yeah.
You know.
And what you can, like, for me, I always just base it on how they're doing. You know, how are they eating? Are they anxious? Are they pacing? Are they panting? Are they bloated? Are they drinking a lot? Are they peeing a lot? Like, you just need to make a list. And you know, and if their symptoms are really, you know, really good or asymptomatic, I didn't worry too much about doing a lot of blood tests, like, constantly and things like that. Just make sure that you're always supporting her liver, always.
Which is the liver tonic, right?
Yeah. And the other thing that's really non-invasive is you could, before you do the protocol, take something into your vet called a urine cortisol creatinine ratio. And what that is you take urine at home. You have to make sure that you take it at home, not under any stress, or else it's not going to be accurate. You take urine at home, you take it as a first urine of the day, the morning. Take it in, have them do a urine cortisol creatinine ratio, see where it's at, and then you could recheck it maybe in 6 weeks after, after she started the protocol. You could you could do another urine in 6 weeks, because then you're not taking her in and she's not stressed out, and you're getting more of an accurate reading, because when they're stressed, their cortisol levels really, really go crazy, right?
Like us. Yeah.
So you wind up oftentimes it being not as accurate as it could be. Okay,
great. I feel so much better talking to you. Thank you so much. And I'll be here next month.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, Julie. Next is Barb Rogers here. Barb, I just gave you the mic. You let me know.
I'm unmuting. Did it work?
Yeah.
Okay.
How are you?
Good. It's my first question ever with you.
Okay.
And we're plotting, I don't know if you can see, we're plotting behind the scenes to steal you to the US. Anyway, I've read up as much as I reasonably can on vaccines. I titer my dogs. I've been at the legislature speaking about rabies vaccines and titers. I go to Dr. John Robb sometimes when I can. He's about an hour away from me. But what I still don't understand is when they're saying any level, any number showing means the dog is good. I just don't understand. If you're gotten a low number, it's a low number, is it not? Should you or should you not revaccinate? I've never heard a good layperson's explanation of why that could be.
Because when you won't see a titer without there being an expression of memory cell titers. So there's blood level titers, and then there's titers that are innate in the memory cell of the body that can't be measured. So when you see a titer, there is more expression of that ability to mount the proper response when the body's challenged from the virus. So what I would do, if you're really you're really into this and you're really trying to learn, Kaylin, do we have Will's and my thing on YouTube?
Yeah, I can put the link in the chat.
Okay, so watch that entire thing, and you'll be able to walk into a clinic and say exactly how you feel, and you'll really get it.
Okay, well, yeah, because I have my quote regular vet who's 15 minutes away. You need one of those. I have Dr. Rob, and I have our chiro vet who is homeopathic as well. So I have a team here. Okay.
Awesome.
And the thing is, very quickly, I'm about to launch a fight with the state of Connecticut mid-year, because I've got one dog who is 5 minutes away from death in my arms from HGE. It's a long story. I won't go there, but I don't consider him completely healthy for this. And I just got his titers were done early last year. They're fine. Dr. Rob says they're good for 3 years, and I'm going to push the issue. And they're going to hate me and they're going to fight me. So I want to be ready with all the knowledge I can. So thank you.
Yeah. So definitely watch that one, because he's also got stuff on his website that you can print off and stuff.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks, Steph.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, he has a waiver. There.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything if the state doesn't have laws that allow you to use a waiver. I actually did get a waiver for a year with one dog that was a seizure dog, and that's all they allowed me was a year. It was a huge fight, and it's going to happen again for other reasons. So anyway, I'm a fighter.
Well, there's a lot of support and statistics to show that the antibodies levels are in memory cells and not just in the blood.
Okay, that's what I need. Thank you.
If you didn't have them in the memory cells, you wouldn't see them in the blood.
So one more thing then, why don't they just have a yay or nay kind of measurement if that's true though? Because, right? Everybody's getting confused because it says a low titer, and then they panic and think, oh my God, do I need to get a vaccine?
Because people, it's literally why is no one wants to get sued.
Okay, well, yeah, I get that. Okay, it's fabulous. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
All righty. Joy had a question. I'm going to ask it here really quick, Julie, because you touched on this a couple minutes ago. She just wants you to talk a little bit more about your go-to. Is it a new product? She's a pet loss specialist, and she works with many end-of-life care animals. Can you talk about how it could help there?
Yeah, it really helps. So this is the one I always say that when it's actually happening, when the pet's actually transitioning, it's a great product for people to take, for the pet parent to take, as well as giving it to the animal. So what it does is the combination of arnica and aconite. So arnica is a massive pain remedy. So it helps to remove any kind of discomfort and pain. And then the aconite is a big anxiety and fear remedy. So the two combined together, it just has this incredible synergistic way, we're talking end stage now, way to help that transition just glide in rather than it being a bumpy ride. towards the end. And we all want to stay as calm as we possibly can and grounded and just very present in our animal's death, because the more present we can make, the more present we remain, the more connected we are to our animals, so that we can help them know that we're going to be okay when they leave. Let them know that they're going to be okay when they leave, that we're never going to be separated, because I believe that as much as I'm sitting here. So it's a great transition remedy when they're old and they're starting to really decline. And it's nice because you can give it and then give it as needed, right? Like if you give it and they do great, and then 6 hours later they look like they need it again, you can give it to them again. So you don't want to over give it and give it when it's not needed, but if it's needed, it's completely fine to give it to them often. The other way we use go-to is, I tell people to always keep it in their car, or their purse or their backpack, or their somewhere where it's close by, as a first aid remedy, because it's an incredible remedy for shock. So if you ever come across an accident where something's been hit by a car, or your animal gets injured, or whatever, it's on your way to a hospital or vet hospital, it has saved so many animals from going into shock and dying before they get there. It's pretty incredible. And the other thing it's good for is the first stages of anything. So you're sitting and all of a sudden your dog for no reason starts going in and out, and it's having to go out and have diarrhea and come back in, and then it's pacing and it goes out and it comes back in, or it has this like a massive vomit, or it starts to scratch at its ear, and you look in its ear and 1 minute it was totally normal and the next minute it's bright red, or your cat starts to throw up, or like, and where it's not like an emergency situation where you need to get to the vet, which it still works really well because it helps to stabilize them till you get there. But I've seen it work so many times to help derail fevers and derail some really serious stuff, that it doesn't get really serious. So it helps to deal with inflammation, fevers, chronic or acute situations of bacteria and pain. So I call it my go-to, my first mode of defense, basically against anything. And then most people don't just rush their animal to the vet when they get diarrhea, so or they just throw up once. So anytime you see that, you give it right away, and then you can give it again. I always say give it every half an hour to an hour for 3 times, and it's incredible how many times it will derail it from getting so bad that you do have to wind up going to a vet. Nothing that it replaces vet care, but a lot of times it will help to mitigate the pain, mitigate the inflammation, so that the process doesn't become worse. So yeah, I just love that remedy. I used it for everything in my clinic, like absolutely everything, from fear to initial really sick animals that walk through the door before we can assess even what's going on. They get it along with their pet parent. So yeah, I'm excited that you guys are going to have it in the US.
Thanks, Julie. Gayleen's got a question here. Let me give you the mic, Gayleen. You should have the capability there to talk now.
Happy New Year, Julie.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. First of all, I just want to thank you so much from our entire family, and from our pets. Your products have been lifesavers.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. It's been, we just tell everybody about your products because it's just been amazing.
Oh,
sorry, I'm a little shaky. I'm tearing up because it's just been such a wonderful change, especially for our dog. She has SLO,
yeah,
and she's had a real hard time of it,
Okay.
along with hip dysplasia.
Yeah.
So right now we've got her on, let me just think. We've got her on Gut Soothe, the Phyto Synergy, the Liver Tonic, and we also have her on the Jump for Joints.
Okay, good.
And then she's on tetracycline and niacinamide for her SLO,
Yeah.
along with the glucosamine and omega-3s.
Okay.
And just wondering if we could put her on the Yeasty Beast, because now she's come down with a yeast infection, and they had her on clindamycin and ketoconazole. She's just finished that, but I can still smell it. So
yeah,
wasn't sure what to do.
How bad is it? Where was the yeast infection?
On her paws. So, and of course the SLO is affecting her nail, so it's a kind of a double whammy for her.
So what products do you have her on?
We have her on the Gut Soothe,
yeah,
the Phyto Synergy,
yeah,
the Liver Tonic, and the Jump for Joints.
Mhm.
And I'm not sure if it's because of her medication, but we can't feed her without giving her Gut Soothe. She just can't eat, or she does eat, she's just really sick after.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's probably your medication for sure.
Yeah.
So I would I would first try Phytosflora, because she sounds like she's pretty fragile, right?
Yeah.
So I would try Phytosflora first and give it 3 weeks and incorporate it with everything else that you're doing. Give it 3 weeks.
Awesome. Okay.
And see if it helps. If it doesn't help, then you could start the is she licking them a lot? Like, is she
yeah, she's trying, yeah, for sure.
Okay. So try that first, see how it goes. Maybe let us know. Right. Let us know if you can. And then if we're not seeing an improvement, then go to the Yeasty Beast, but start it with a quarter of the dose.
Okay.
A quarter of the recommended dose. Like not very much at all. And then see what she's like. Do that maybe for a week. And then if she's okay, you could give her like a little pinch more. Like really do it slowly, like super duper slowly. I know some dogs that some dogs that have really severe gastric reflux.
Right.
When they've started it's been difficult for them, right? Because it's quite potent, especially the enzyme part of it.
All right.
But it's pretty amazing, because once they've actually been on it by giving like a little tiny bit and more as they can handle it, it's actually, I know 4 dogs where their acid reflux, they don't even have acid reflux anymore. So not only did it help with the yeast, but it actually helped the underlying problem that they'd had for a really, really long time. So yeah, but then they put it on leaky gut. So I would imagine that the acid reflux probably was gut trauma to begin with.
Right.
Matter, Holly. So that's what I would start with Phytosflora first, and see if we can modulate her immune system a little bit. And then once if we see that in itself might help her own body be able to deal with the yeast. And if it can't, then we can try giving her the other one, and just a very small amount to start.
All right, for sure. We'll get that right away then.
And the other option too is doing we have a Yeasty Beast spray, right?
Oh, okay.
And what I would do with that is because anytime a dog has anything like this, I'm very, very cautious with starting off small. I would take the yeast beast spray. I would get some green tea or chamomile tea. I would actually add some to the green tea, add some of the liquid to the green tea, and then sponge it on her feet, diluted with probably with its yeast green tea or green tea chamomile mix. And that can be really, really helpful just to take the itch away.
That I'm sure that'll be really helpful. We have to definitely do that for her. Awesome. Thank you. I have another question, a quick one. We just acquired a 10-week-old kitten, and she's on a raw diet. We're wondering if we should have her on Love Bugs yet, or what?
Well, you can definitely put her on Love Bugs. She's 10 weeks old, eh? What is she?
Siamese.
Oh, she's a Siamese. Oh. So I mean, if she's only 10 weeks old, you could definitely just start her right away on Love Bugs. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then if she shows any signs, because they can be sensitive little creatures to Siamese, if she shows any signs at all of, like some stinky poo or loose poo or anything like that, then you can twice a week start giving her the cat gut soothe, the feline gut soothe. It's a bit different.
Okay.
The canine.
All right.
You can do like 2 days bugs, 1 day the gut soothe, the next day Love Bugs, or 2 days Love Bugs, and then the next day gut soothe. You can alternate them like that when they're little. If just if you start seeing any kind of signs of anything GI at all.
All right, for sure, most definitely. What do you recommend? We have an appointment on Saturday to take her for her first visit, her first vet chat.
Yeah.
And they're recommending that she has shots. Is there anything that I shouldn't be getting for her? Because our dog. Sorry.
What were we going to say about your dog?
Her problems started just right after we got her vaccinated. So I'm really leery about the cat now.
Is she an indoor or outdoor cat?
Indoor.
Always indoor?
Always, yeah.
I wouldn't vaccinate her, but that's me.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's what we were thinking about it.
I would not vaccinate her. And if you do vaccinate her, I mean, we used to just do panleukopenia when we could do it, which is feline distemper. At my clinic, that's basically the only thing that we would ever vaccinate for. But then they stopped allowing us to buy it individually. So now you have to buy feline. I think it's feline panleukopenia, Khaleesi, and upper respiratory, I think. I don't remember. It's a 3. The smallest amount you can get is a 3-in-1. You can't just get a single monovalent vaccine anymore. You can only get them in a 3-in-1. So if they absolutely make you get it, first of all, make sure that she's at least 14 weeks. She's not younger than 14 weeks when you first vaccinate her.
Okay.
And or 12 Henry, 12 would be minimum. So between 12 and 14 weeks would be minimum. And I would only do ask them just to do the 3-in-1s. But if she's an indoor cat, I'm surrounded by my cats right now, and I haven't vaccinated any of them. And they go outside. So yeah, I'm pretty indoor cats. That would be me. Do your research. Again, Dr. Faulkner, Will Faulkner, he's got so much amazing information on his website about vaccines.
Okay.
It's great. But you said something to me, and now that when you said that you think that your dog first got sick after its vaccines, have you tried the anti-vaccinosis yet with her?
No, I haven't, because that was, I mean, she's 7 now, and that was when she was a pup, right? So I didn't know if.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, fabulous.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
So don't do a new product plus the anti-vax. Why don't you try like you can get Phytophthora and get the anti-vax, but before, do the anti-vax twice a day for 2 days and watch and see if that in itself makes a difference with her feet.
All right, for sure. I will definitely.
Okay. Yeah, I
That's
for
good
sure.
to know.
And then at least you'll have it too, that if you really get convinced to do your cat, or you do your research and you feel safer or more confident to vaccinate your cat, with just a 3-in-1, a really, really small dose, and vaccinate her when she's a bit older.
Right.
Then you'll have the anti-vax and definitely give it to her like the second you get her home, and give it to her twice a day for 2 to 3 days.
Perfect. Great information as always.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All the best to you in the new year.
Thank you, and please try and let us know how she does.
I definitely will. I will for sure. Okay. All right. Take care.
Okay, you're welcome. You too.
Julie, do you have time for one more question today?
Yeah.
All righty. It is from Beth.
I'm here.
Beth, I'm going to give you the mic. You should be able to talk now.
Just muted. Shushy.
Am I unmuted now?
Okay, yeah, you are.
Henry. Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good. I have 2 golden retrievers both at different spectrums of life. One is 12 years old and one is 2 years old.
Aww.
Max is golden retriever number 3 that I've had, and Xander is number 4.
Okay. I'm
pretty familiar with them. So we'll start with Max. He's 12 and a half. He'll be 13 in May.
Okay.
I have been very fortunate that all my retrievers have lived till 13 and a half years old.
Yep, you have been lucky.
Yes, I am very fortunate considering. So with Max, he has some arthritis in his hips. He was my agility dog, so I kind of expected it.
Yeah.
So he is on a raw diet. He also I have him on Love Bugs and the Fighter Synergy, and it made a huge difference for him, like alertness, activity-wise. I was wondering if there was any more I could do for him inflammatory-wise. Is there anything else I can use for him to help him as well?
Yeah, for sure. The Jump for Joints will help him.
Oh, I just ordered that.
Oh, good. Awesome.
Yeah. Jump for Joints.
Just wait.
Okay. Then with Xander, we'll back him up a little bit. When I got him, he's show quality and he's a beautiful dog, but randomly what spiked me at about 7 months old, he got a hot spot on the back of his tail randomly. And then another one in the inner part of his thigh. And they put him on antibiotics for it. And then that did seem to go away. But then he started having chronic ear infections and skin issues. So I changed out his diet thoroughly, found out he is allergic to chicken, like gravely allergic to chicken. Okay. He is on a full raw diet with no chicken. They explained that they felt like he was sensitized to how kibble was made as well, or the food additives as well. He's 100% better now. I finally got rid of his ear infection, but have some residual yeast in that ear. Okay. So, and I want to know how I can proceed forward for him as a whole, to keep him as healthy as I can.
So he is on all raw now.
Yes, And what made me go to that also was he was on, they started giving him Cytopoint because he was itchy.
Yeah.
And I felt like he can't live his whole life on Cytopoint. We have to do something.
Or he could live his whole life on it, but he wouldn't live as long, that's for sure.
Oh, yes, I agree. That was where I was going with it. And so thus the raw diet, finding out what he was allergic to, and ear infection right now is under control, but I want to make sure we can keep it under control.
For sure. So again, I would start him off probably with Phytosflora, so the probiotic, and I would rotate probably Phytosynergy, and I mean if you can afford to do Phytosflora and Phytosynergy, those would be the two I would be giving him at his age. That's just something that I would, because to me they're not supplements, they're food. So it's not like you're feeding him a supplement. It's more like a really, really good maintenance health plan.
Okay.
You're going to be dealing with his foundation and his immune system and all of that through Phytosflora. And then you're giving him incredible minerals, and you're giving him minerals through Phytosflora too with the fulvic and humic acid. But then you're giving him superoxide dismutase and essential fatty acids and amino acids with the Phytosynergy. So that's what I would do. If his ear doesn't clear up, or if his ear continues to keep getting worse or coming back and forth, I would just go through one treatment of one protocol of the Yeasty Beast.
Okay. So do both of what you suggested together or alternate?
Yeah, no, I would do them together. Right now, I would do them together if he was getting some ear stuff. So I would get his immune system boosted up, and then have the immune modulating effect, plus adding in the really diverse probiotics and the fulvic and humic acid. I would it works almost like a chelation therapy. So if he's got heavy metals or anything like that, it'll help to pull the heavy metals, glyphosates. It's a really great product. So I would do those two things just together. I always say start one, and then 3 to 4 days later start the next one, just to be sure that there's no reaction being sensitive.
Can I do both the same for both of them?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because it just makes it easier when you've got the 2-for-1 special going on here.
Well, I mean the Phytosynergy. Did you say your older dog is on Phytosynergy?
Yeah, they both are.
They both. Okay.
So they're both doing Phytosynergy, and they're both doing Love Bugs. And just ordered Max the medication, the hips, the Jump for Joints.
Jump for Joints. Okay, so once you're finished, you can finish your Love Bugs.
Okay.
Order Phytosflora, and then just do Phytosflora instead of Love Bugs.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was hoping. And I didn't know about the Yeasty Beastie stuff with the ear, since they did culture yeast out of it. His ear got to the point where they were almost going to just culture it just to see what it was, and then give him specific antibiotics. But right now we've got it gone.
Well, that's good, because if they did find yeast in it and they give him antibiotics, it's going to get 100 times worse.
Yeah, it's just going to go back and forth. I lived with this. Max had an issue at this age also, and gotten through it. It seems like most of his allergies are food related and not environmental. But I did add a little bit of seasonal honey to his food as well.
Okay.
Just to cover in case it is some environmental aspect to it.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome.
Good job. I'm like I said, I've been very fortunate to have them till 13 and 14.
Yeah, I know.
Like some of this, just the raw diet is kind of a new thing for me, but we're getting there step by step, and appreciative that I had a vet that would listen to the proactive on a raw diet. She actually suggested it. She's like, I just feel like you need to get him off of dog food.
Awesome. That's amazing. Sing praise to her for sure.
Yes, I was very fortunate because her practice is not pro raw diet. She admitted, she's like, he's too young to be doing all of this.
Yeah, so, for sure.
Anyway, well, thank you so much for listening to both of them. And like I said, Max did a 360 turnaround just with the little bit I've done. He actually started to put weight on, and he's looked so much brighter and better.
Awesome. That's great to hear. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great new year.
You're welcome. Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone, for joining us tonight. This was an awesome way for the first session of AJA Ask Julie Anything for 2021, Julie. Super helpful, and thanks for joining us.
Everybody out there for all your continued support, and here's to 2021 being better than we could all possibly imagine.
Looking forward to it, Julie. Thanks.
Okay.
Good night, everyone. We'll see you next month.